70% of user will stop playing a game because of toxicity, and if they first few experience would not be good. So like, and literally nobody from them take care about curation, which is insane, because like companies spend millions of dollars and 70% of user will leave because of this problem.
All right, this is another episode of the Founders Pack Form Your Own Pack podcast. My guest today was nominated by another guest, Dana Sydorenko from GameTree. How are you doing?
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation. It's my pleasure to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to talk to you because you're doing some fun things. So I guess for people that don't know, who is Dana Sydorenko?
I'm Ukrainian, and I also war veteran in Ukraine. And for last 7 years, I've been working with startup and businesses. I built my previous company from start to $55 million revenue total in less than 3 years. And we win the best army supplier in Ukraine 2 years in a row.
Wow.
But I'm finishing my MBA in University of Chicago right now. And I also co-founder of GameTree. GameTree is startup for gamers. Basically, it's AI-driven iOS, Android, and desktop app that provide LFG service for gamers. LFG, for those of us who not gamer, is looking for group. So it's obvious for gamers. It's not obvious who not play games.
Yeah.
How it works right now. So when you open massive multiplayer games, game puts you in random group with random people all around the world. And because users know that they probably see each other first and last time in their life, they allow to be like shitty to each other.
Okay.
And it's created a lot of toxicity, and it's go so much that a lot of games actually prohibit users to communicate anymore.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't realize that. That makes sense. So they're just very antagonistic towards each other because they're competing.
Kind of, and
they have no connection.
So that's what we solving. So we decrease the toxicity in games, and we actually allow users to communicate. How we do this? By curate them. So you open the game, we have LFG bottom that overlay game. You just click the bottom, and you in the same group, but with random people anymore, but with people who we predicted you will like. And that's something very cool that we're doing. We have AI algorithm that able to predict which people will be better to play with for you. We use more than 100 different data points about our users that we collect through testing. So in our platform, there's 3 types of tests. It's psychology matching, it's gamer DNA test, basically it's your gamer style, and it's your value system. All of them is very important. So psychological matching, something that I love to talk, and we have probably the most scientifically proved test. Oh my God, I will share the link with you and with everyone who's gonna listen it. It's literally it's scientifically proved test that we developed, and we've been improving it with psychology community. So it's test kind of like for professional group, but I will share it with you, and you can.
Sure, that's great. We will put that in the show notes.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So psychological matching, also gamer DNA test. It's, let's say I'm casual gamer and somebody competitive one. So if I'm casual gamer, I'll be like, oh, I just want like hang out in the games. A lot of people, girls especially, use games just like place to hang out, to like spend time, communicate with people, have fun, play casual games. And if somebody will be competitive, he'll go like, oh, we're gonna lose because of you. Like, you not try too hard enough, like go kill yourself, go fuck yourself, and all of that, you know.
Yeah. Oh, geez, that's not good.
Actually, 70% of users said that they experienced physical threat or harassment during the
that's
game.
crazy.
70%. So it's not just my problem, or like one gamer problem. It's like 3.2 billion gamers experience this like every day. And you might think it's not a big problem if you not play games, but these gamers are like your kids, your
Right.
friends, colleagues, and like games being created to be like the most fun experience, but instead of that, they just become toxic and they like can make you depressed, you know.
That's not good.
Nobody want to play with like teammates that tell them like go kill yourself, you know.
No, that sounds like the worst experience you could have. So,
Yeah.
then you guys, since you've launched, what have been some of the results, and how many people are using it, and what's the difference before and after?
Oh, so like we have 500,000 users with only 20,000 total marketing spends for the
Wow.
day.
Okay.
So we number one in Google in like find gamers, find gamer friends, and it's just like we haven't been actually very aggressively promoting right now because we're still startup and we're still in developing stage. But we're just the best in this niche, like we're the best in what we're doing over there. Of course, there's like few apps who provide the same service looking for group, but none of them do not support like calling. None of them do not have desktop app, and the most important is like matching algorithm. So all metrics that majority of apps like that use, it's just like age, sex, and location.
Right.
But it's not enough to actually find online friends, you know, or like have really good person to spend your time online with. Because, you know, like for us, friendship, it's much more than just like age, sex, and location.
That makes total sense. And then I think you had mentioned that the psychological part, you're really, and I know you can go really
Yeah.
deep on this, so I don't want to like lead you down the path if you don't want to go that far, but just so people understand, like the matching, what's the psychological parameters of the matching? Like how complex is it?
So we use, it's kind of the same framework that Myers-Briggs, but a little bit more deeper. So it's basically used Jungian typology. And problem with a test like that very often they just like self-reporting and people not really objective about themselves. But what we did, we work with a lot of researcher. We like very deep in this community. So this approach used by like professional psychologists and stuff like that. And we've been developing tests that actually show correlation between your responsible part in your brain for some function and your preference in behavior. So basically, if you'll think about our brain very close to computer. So we receive information, our brain work with information, and we give the answer by our action or reaction or emotion. So different people have different strong part of their brain, and it's been proved that different, because like we have different responsible center in our brain, some people naturally choose different behavior preference. So some people more intuitive, some people more sensors, some the people rely on their emotions more, some people rely on their logic more, and all of it together create 512 types that we measure and provide matches based on that. And it's also very interesting because we think that the best match for us is somebody who the same as us, was actually we should be similar enough and different enough to cover each other's weaknesses, you know.
That makes sense. There is someone remind me that I want to introduce you to, my friend Ariel Garden from Muse. Choose Muse is like a brain sensing headband. I don't know if you've seen this technology.
Oh, that's cool. I heard about that.
Yeah.
And
So I will make that connection for you. I think you guys would have a lot to talk about, and
yeah,
they've
so
taken neurobiology and turned it into
that's
a
so
really cool product.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. So basically, if you take all of this together, what we're doing, it's matching. And one of our main investor is Horizon Capital. So it's probably the best people in all matching industry. So they have a CEO who create OkCupid and then become CEO of All Match Group.
Oh
They
wow.
have CMO who blew up Tinder. and was CEO of Tinder for like 10 plus years.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we actually very excited to have them as our investors, because matching, it's a big part what service we provide to users.
That is a great resource, and that's amazing. All right,
Yeah,
for people out there, I guess first off is what stage are you guys at, and what are you looking for next?
So right now we actually fundraising, and we almost finished the round in 2.5 million. So
Great.
it's seed stage technically, but we've been proved that there is demand, and we already have pre-orders, and so it's kind of seed, but like post seed. I don't know.
It's hard to
It's
tell these
weird,
days what the
yeah.
labels are, because I mean we've interviewed a lot of Y Combinator founders, and they're all getting that range.
Yeah,
Like they're walking out day one with $2 to $4 million. So I totally get what you're saying. I don't know what seed and pre-seed is anymore. I have no idea, but that's great.
agreed. Yeah, what's next? I have a lot of, like, we have a huge roadmap of what we
Okay.
want to build. Basically, I just want to like teaser gamers. It's gonna be like life changer, and like everyone who we share it with, like our investors who into gaming space, they just like, why it's still not exists. Like,
Okay. Well, then that's good. You keep surprising people.
yeah.
All right. If you had one piece of advice and only one piece of advice for other founders, what would it be?
Probably it's to not give up very soon. Like life of startup is always roller coaster. And from the moment that, we need to close the project to the moment we fundraise millions, it's gonna be like one day. And if you sure in your idea, if you like ready to put your own money on this project, and you already put your time on that, keep going. And like a lot of startup from the start, they've been kind of a joke. Like, let's say TikTok, like people not get it from the start, and right now it's like one of the biggest company.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just like keep going, no matter how hard it feels.
That is very good advice. What is the role of community or partnerships been in your success so far?
What do you mean?
So one of the themes that we talk about here is, obviously people need capital and they need to build product, but we see over and over a pattern where people either partner with other companies or they scale through communities. So I'm curious what role that's been in your success so far.
So community is definitely a huge part of our success. We well known as like non-toxic community. Our community translate our app for 10 different languages. We have like dozen of volunteer moderator and admin on our app. And partly what we want to do when like Web3 will be more stable, it's also give part of our ownership to the community, because I'm big fan of digitalization, and I'm big fan of like Web3. It's just right now a little bit early for gaming go that direction, but it's probably will be in future. And I also think that users, they not somebody who you use. So that's funny, because only IT industry and drug industry call the customer users.
True, that's true.
So it's users, like your clients, your community. It's not somebody who just use your app. It's literally it's somebody who consume your service. So you need to serve them, and they deserve to also be part of your vision. They deserve to decide like what they want. They deserve to have like maybe small, but part of your product as well.
That's interesting though. That's an interesting approach. And I guess that is very Web3 to include them in the equity.
Yeah. So like partly what gaming industry also need is like big studios or like big company like Steam and stuff like that. They own too much of your gamer space. Like you spend 60 hours, 90 hours, play some games, you have achievements there, you have like your important moments over there, your friends list. And if something go wrong and you can be banned without explanation, you just like lose everything. You do not own it. And what GameTree will allow also to do our users is to kind of be able to transfer it to your profile and literally own it, you know. So like even if you will lose this somehow or wherever, you still will own it, you know.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Is that built on blockchain or is that something else?
It's work on progress right now. It's not launched, but like this universal thing need to be done because Microsoft just like a few weeks ago banned 5 million users. So literally
5 million.
Yeah.
Were they all Russian?
I wish.
Oh, you wish. Now. Ukrainian.
I mean, not get me wrong. Like, I believe that gaming helped Ukrainian and Russian, like
relations.
Yeah, well, you can communicate with somebody, but I believe that right now there's not a lot of topic for communication until war is
not a good
active.
situation.
Yeah, it's not really nice timing to like communicate or try to like go through this crisis, through this conflict, through this war. Like Ukraine should win, and then we'll see if there's anyone to talk with or not.
Makes sense. It's a rough time of the world, or rough time in the world generally, but definitely in that region. It's very, very, very sad to see what's going on.
That's actually also a very good example. So we have value stats that we measure different values for people, and if like both of us have very strong national feeling, we just couldn't like play together.
Oh, really? Okay,
like,
that's one of the factors. That makes a lot of sense.
We also measure like, are you okay with gay people or not? Are you okay with feminists or not? And it's very sensitive data, so we very protect them. But it's one of the key factor, will you be a friend with somebody or not? Because our friend is actually somebody who shares the same value as we.
Sounds like the whole internet could use your algorithms.
That's a lot, yeah. So we actually doing the deepest curation about gamer, but I think that all internet and a lot of different apps also need deeper curation.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Because I think really what we've been dealing with for the last 6 years or 5 years has been the outrage algorithm that rewards people for the opposite. So it's kind of nice to see that someone's building something that does, is mature in the sense that it understands, well, not everybody's like matched. To not have an argument, and that this is a better way to go. So I could totally see where this would spill beyond gaming. It makes a lot of sense. All right, so I want to be conscious because I know we could talk forever about this stuff. What is the best way for people to get in touch with you, and who is a good contact for you?
So the best way to keep in touch with me is probably LinkedIn and my email. Who is the good contact? People who know gaming industry and who see the possible cooperation or partnership with what we're doing. One of the things that we provide is curation as a service for studios and for companies, because it's like insane. Studios spend 5 to 7 years to create game, and they spend like $100 million for one game. And 70% of user will stop playing a game because of toxicity, and if they first few experience would not be good. So like, and literally nobody from them take care about curation, which is insane, because like companies spend millions of dollars and 70% of user will leave because of this problem,
That's kind of incredible stats. So that tremendous opportunity for you guys. Well, I want to wrap with one final thing. I do also want I want to invite you to intros. So we've launched something called intros, which is basically automated introductions between Founders Pack members who are typically either founders or investors. So it's automated introductions to your inbox. So we'll send you guys an invite for that, and then every Monday you'll be invited to opt in for the week, and then on Wednesday you get a match with someone that you get to meet new.
Oh, that's awesome. Love it.
I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, well, okay, now how do we get better matches? But I'm sure you can give us ideas. All right. So the final thing is, as you know, because you were nominated by Moran, we like to ask you to nominate either a founder or investor to be a future guest of the Founders Pack podcast. Who would you, Dana, like to nominate as a future guest?
I know amazing Ukrainian girl who worked like a CEO of one fintech company
Okay.
that so I will introduce you, and I think she had a lot of interesting stuff to share with you.
Amazing. What's her first name?
She's named Yevheniia.
Yevheniia. Okay, Yevheniia, you've been nominated by Dana to be a future guest. Dana, thank you so much. I look forward
Thank
to
you.
following your journey. And if there's anything else we can help you with, whether it's introductions or connections, we're happy to do that as we go along.
Sure. Thank you so much. That was my pleasure to talk with you.
Likewise.